What would you do if you knew you could not fail? You know, so often in life we stop trying new things or new challenges because we're afraid to fail. And it's not the failure that we're afraid of, but it's the story that we attach to what that failure means. I'm Matt Gill, and welcome to another episode of Mornings with Matt. So often in life, we stop trying because we're afraid of failure. And it's not the failure itself that's stopping us, but the story that we're telling ourselves about the failure. The I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not whatever that story is for you. Let's take a look at the stories you're telling yourself that's stopping you from trying some of the things that you want to do now. Back when I was 4 years old, I created what I called my IFC, my imaginary film crew. And this film crew went with me everywhere I went. Like, I would turn anything into a microphone. I could turn a stick into a microphone, or a pen, or take the end of the garden hose. And I'd be walking around and just interviewing people. Like, what's up, everybody? This is Matt reporting live from. And then just interview them and get people involved into my imagination, into my story that I was creating. And oftentimes we dream, and we dream big, and then something happens, something changes. I remember in high school, I used to sign my yearbooks, follow your dreams. And I think that's something that's been showing up all of my life in following your dreams, following your passions. And something happens along the way. Something happens that either something was said to us or something was done to us that shifts us and moves us away from following our dreams. Like, as a child, we have an imagination that's so huge. It allows us to dream bigger than what is even possible. And then as we get older, there's limiting beliefs and things that people have said, things that people have done that we believe, and then we carry on for ourselves. So I want to ask you a question. What happened to some of your dreams? Think back for a moment when you were a child. Like, what did you used to dream of? What were you passionate about? When you were a kid, what did you say, when I grow up, I want to be, or I want to do, or I want to experience? Was it travel? Was it being in a relationship? Was it impacting the world? Like, what were some of those wild, crazy dreams that you used to dream of when you were a kid? Malcolm Forbes says, when you cease to dream, you cease to live. So many times we walk around, we feel like we're just in our normal day-to-day, and we're not living life. We're not living our experience. We're just doing instead of being. You see, you're born a human being. You're born a human being to be, to live. So I want you to think back for a moment. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? If failure was not an option? What would you do? Who would you be? Where would you go? Now, this conversation is not just a monologue, but this is a dialogue. So in the comments below, let me know, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What were the dreams that you used to dream as a child? The things that you wanted to be, the things that you wanted to do? What are the stories that you want to tell? When you think about the legacy that you want to leave behind, what are the things that you want people to say about you? For me, I want people to say that he lived life to the fullest. That even during some of the rough moments in his life, he still had hope and he still pushed through. I want people to say that Matt was a happy guy that found joy in every situation. That he was strong, that he was determined, and that he was loving. Like, what are the things that you want your legacy to be? It's time to dream big again. I know we've had so many things that have stopped us in our life, things that have distracted us. And now it's time for a shift. This week, as you go about your week, just think, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do? Forget all the reasons why it may or may not work. Just dream big for a moment. Allow yourself to play in your imagination. And then put it here in the chat. Let me hear from you. So now it's your turn. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? So leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel, because this is designed for our safe space, for me to share my journey, you to share your journey, and for us to share our journey together. I'm your brother in possibility and abundance, and we'll see you next time.